We start at 8 o'clock. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being with us here this evening. My name's John Moody. I live in Worcestershire, and I came across this technology 3.5 years ago now. And like many other people, when I was first told about it, I was very skeptical about it, and it took me a little while to come to terms with that. But I decided I was sufficiently curious that I bought some products to try, and I started to notice some improvements. I'd got a very stiff right hip at the time. I play golf, and a stiff right hip isn't very helpful when you play golf, and it sort of limits your swing. And I was a bit disgruntled with my golf. I wasn't playing very well because I couldn't swing the club like I was used to. And I found after a couple of 3 weeks that my hips started to ease up, and then within a matter of another week or two, I started to play much better, like I had done years before. So I was very happy from that point of view. But what really opened my mind to this technology was finding the gentleman who invented this is called Jay Dhaliwal, and when he was a teenager, his mother was diagnosed with MS. This was back in the 1980s. Not a lot was known about MS at the time, and seemingly less was known about how to help people who had it. And he was very distressed by he had faith in the medical system, and he thought they should be able to help his mother, and but that was not the case. And so it became his kind of mission in life to try and do something that would help his mother. And to sort of cut the story short, he made money in business very quickly and sold out when he was 29, and became financially independent, which is not a bad trick at 29. And that gave him the time and the resources to research neurology. And he spent several years researching. And out of that research finally came a company he called Vox Life, and some products with wearable products that had this technology embedded in them. So I went, at this early time, I was sort of getting to understand the business. I went to see a friend of mine who was diagnosed with MS some 20 odd years previously, and she'd had a fall a year or two earlier, and it had really dented her confidence and made her very shaky on her legs, to the degree that even in the house she used a walking stick to get across the room and put a kettle on, to go and open the door, whatever. But every move on her feet meant she needed to use a walking stick. So I went to see her, and we had a cup of coffee and a chat. I explained what I'd found, and was she interested in knowing more about it, and she said she would be. So there are some physical tests you can do with this technology where people will experience a difference between not being on it and being on it. And I'd had a pair of insoles with me at the time, and I put these insoles on her kitchen floor. We did these exercises, and yes, you could feel the difference. But we carried on talking for another 3-4 minutes. That was all, and she was still stood on these insoles in the middle of her kitchen. And suddenly this grin appeared on her face, and she put her arms out like this and started swinging around, going wee. And I have to say, my chin was very close to hitting the floor. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. She couldn't believe it either. And then we started to tear up, because it was really quite an emotional moment, to be honest. But that's at that point I started to think, okay, there is some real purpose in this technology, and I have become increasingly interested in it and increasingly involved in it ever since. So that's how I dealt with my skepticism, basically having my own experience, but also seeing experiences of people I know. And along the way, I introduced the technology to Stuart, and Stuart has his own story about how he coped with his initial skepticism as well. So, Stuart, why don't you tell us your story?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, John, and thanks for kicking us off tonight. I don't know why I'm not on the speaker view. Just going to change that. Hold on a second, please. Do I appear now? Nope. Why is John on? If I speak, I should appear on the speaker view, which is not happening currently. So it's a bit of a problem with this particular thing. If I make you co-host, John, can I just ask you to try to take yourself off in some way? It's never worked like this before. So co-host, there you are.
I've now got speaker view.
It's only on yours, Stuart.
Yeah, but I'm recording it. That's the issue. So
yeah, so you need to unpin him. You've obviously
he's not pinned. He's not pinned
or spotlighted. Or view, go to gallery view.
I'll tell you what, I'll spotlight myself for everyone. That's it.
There you go.
So I had to work around that. It normally works without that sort of workaround. So anyway, as John said, he introduced this technology to me back in December of 2019. And at the time, I was doing a lot of mind coaching. So I was doing hypnosis, NLP, timeline therapy, heart math breathing, and lots of things to do with the human brain, which is why I've had pictures of the brain every time I'm speaking to somebody. And I was helping golfers in particular. My company is called Fearless Putting Limited. So through mind coaching with people, I was helping golfers to hit the ball better, feeling more powerful, better mind control, this sort of thing. And John rang me out of the blue. I was sitting in a car park outside a bathroom store, and he said, "Stuart, you're a golf coach." Yeah, we both know that, John. Thanks very much. He said, "I've got this new thing that's coming from Canada, which is helping." Study was compiled showing that golfers can hit the ball further, straighter, with more power, with better range of motion, feeling more powerful, more energy, and they're feeling better towards the end of a round of golf. I said, "Well, that sounds interesting," he says through bated breath. I said, "What is it?" And he said, "It's socks and insoles." I did swear, and I said, "There is no way wearing socks or insoles can help a golfer to do those things. That is ridiculous." Anyway, tell me more about it, and he gave me a ridiculously good offer, more of which later. And he said, "Well, why don't you try it?" I said, I've got no interest. He said, "Well, why don't you just try it, see what happens?" Okay, I'll try it. So I tried it with a no risk, money back guaranteed trial. And after 2 weeks, he rang me and said, "Hey, Stuart, how are you getting on?" I said, "These are rubbish. I want my money back." He said, "Well, that's okay, but can I just check? Are you wearing them in bed at night, these socks at the time?" I said, "No, I don't never worn socks in bed at night. Even the Arctic Circle when I was in the RAF, I didn't wear socks in bed. So I'm not going to start now. That's stupid. Why would I do that?" He said, "Well, give it a go." So I gave it a go. First night, absolutely rubbish sleep. And having socks on my body just didn't work whatsoever. Didn't sleep at all, just awful. Second night, I had the most amazing, bizarre, vivid dreams that I've ever had in my life. And I woke up feeling different. Third night, again, had the most amazing, vivid dreams and woke up feeling refreshed and alert. And I just thought, there's something to this. And then I went to a presentation a while later. And the people talking on the stage said that some of the things that people achieve with this technology are walking, balance, coordination. I wasn't interested because it didn't affect me. And then he said it improves people's memory. And I thought, do you know what? I hadn't even thought until now that a couple of years before this point, I'd been starting to forget names. I'd been starting to get words in a sentence. So I'd get to the end of a sentence and be flummoxed as to what the correct word was. And it just wouldn't flow, which then stopped me talking. So it affected my whole psyche and my whole being. So it helped with my memory, and my quality of hearing changed as well, which is really bizarre. And then I started to go to the gym, obviously whilst we were allowed to go to gyms at the time. And I was working alongside, I remember distinctly, I was 54 at the time, working beside a 27-year-old who was his 27th birthday. And he said, I can't recall his name, to be fair. And the gym coach just said, what would you like for your birthday? He said, "I'd like to not work beside Stuart again, because he's making me look rubbish at the training exercises." So I was working harder alongside, And I also wasn't waking up with muscle ache the next day, or more importantly, 2 days afterwards. So then I started to think, well, there's something more to this. Then I started to research it, look into all the testimonial stories and the science behind it, and that soon solved my skepticism. And equally, as John said, meeting Jay Dallywell, never met him in person because we had the lockdown from March 2020, and we're still feeling the effects of it now, let's be brutally honest. So we haven't yet met in person, but he comes across as being such a delightful human being, eminently trustworthy, and that's where I've kind of got my my knowledge and my trust in this whole thing. And obviously, in the meantime, I've been helping lots of people, hundreds of clients, to gain some benefits. So lots of stories like John will tell you, people getting pain-free in their feet, better balance, coordination, body stopping trembling, and lots of other benefits as well. So that's why I've started to align myself towards this. Allied that to the fact that I can't do face-to-face coaching, so this seemed like a really nice adjunct into what I'm doing now. Okay, so at this stage, I think rather than us talking, I think what I'll do is I'll show you a short video which will explain how this new Freedom Super Patch works. So the Freedom Super Patch, which is a pain relief patch, and we're going to give you some details later about a study that's recently been done. But for now, I shall share my screen. And show you this video. And this video is on YouTube.
Not getting any audio, Stuart.
No matter how many times you rehearse things, there's always something that doesn't quite work right on the actual day.
It's the thing. So when you go to share screen, it'll say down the bottom, share computer audio. So on the share screen bit, there should be a little box at the bottom left-hand corner that says share
sound.
Yeah.
Screen one. Try again. You hear?
Today, we're going to talk about our Freedom Patch. This is the world's first and only drug-free, non-invasive, and non-electrical pain patch. To understand how the Freedom Patch works and delivers pain relief, we need to understand a little bit about the neuromatrix of pain and how it works. Every physical, emotional, and psychological function has a neural code that controls and regulates it. The various brain regions and signals that help manage pain are called the neuromatrix of pain. Sometimes these signals get stuck, damaged, or corrupted. This leads to poor pain management. Leading studies show that a well-functioning neuromatrix with synchronized signals can lead to reduced pain. So, how do we help the neuromatrix of pain work better? Easy. Just peel and apply the Freedom Patch to where we are feeling the pain. That could be our shoulder, neck, arm, leg, knee, back, or even hip. The Freedom Super Patch has this intricate and special pattern of ridges. It's like a QR code. We already know that our skin absorbs and transmits information from many different types of stimulation, including light, heat, and cold. With the Freedom Super Patch, the skin uses our sense of touch to absorb and transmit the information. When these ridges in the pattern come in contact with our skin, they stimulate skin sensors that generate and send a very complex signal to our brain that helps balance the neuromatrix of pain. A recent study shows the Freedom Patch helped significantly reduce pain for people within minutes. In fact, the study shows that the Freedom Patch helps with pain from arthritis, myofascial, musculoskeletal, and neuropathy. The Freedom Super Patch is a scientific breakthrough that is FDA registered and comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Just imagine less pain without drugs or related risks. The Freedom Patch is an amazing solution for immediate drug-free pain relief.
Yeah, pretty simple and effective. Stop speaking. Thank you, YouTube. So as you can see there, it's a very simple explainer about how this technology works. John, do you want to talk about that? I'm just going to fire up the study so I can just read from the study.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think on that video you saw that it said FDA registration, and that's a very significant point, because the FDA is, for those of you who might not know, is the Food and Drug Agency in the United States, and so the company and the technology has been registered, i.e., it's recognized by the FDA, and I think that's third party validation of the highest, if you like, because that they are confirming that this technology does what we say it does. So that's pretty amazing. And I think Stuart has got another source of third-party validation that we'd also like to share with you.
So I appreciate this. This type on here is way too small to read, but I'm just going to read some pertinent parts. This has been recently released by a whole team of researchers. On the right-hand side here, you can see this chap Peter Hurwitz. Peter Hurwitz is responsible for many varied and very technologically advanced studies in the USA. Jeffrey Gooden on the left-hand side is he's spent his whole life looking into anesthesia and pain relief. And neither of these two gentlemen involved with this study would subscribe or put their name alongside anything that was other than completely reliable. So just to let you know about that. I'm just going to scroll down. There's lots of details in here, but effectively 148 adults with a mean age of 53 years old. As the video briefly said there, severe, moderate, mild, and even severe musculoskeletal, arthritic, and neurological pain. And they looked at the brief pain inventory, which is a recognized way of assessing pain. So anyway, over the baseline 7 days point and the 14-day point, they gave these patches to people, or they told them to wear the patches every day, and then they measured the results at the 7-day and the 14-day point. And then we all the method of carrying out the experiment or the study was detailed in there. Sorry, my mouse is being a bit slow, otherwise I'd go down a lot quicker than this. Just going to go down to the important parts, which are speak amongst yourselves. So the patches were put on with supervision of medical doctors in every single case. Still coming down. And if you know about statistics, it was these studies were found with a 0.001 p-value, which means that it's really reliable and really accurate information. So the conclusion of this study, and I'll read it to you because obviously it's very small on the screen. Study results indicate this non-pharmacological, non-invasive, words, topical patch provides pain, reduces pain severity and interference scores, and may reduce the use of concurrent medications, including prescribed anti-inflammatory and other oral medication for adult patients with arthritic, neuropathic, and musculoskeletal pain. Results reported here from this IRB-approved observational study suggest that this non-pharmacological topical pain patch embedded with the particular technology has incredible potential to be added to the current arsenal of non-invasive and non-pharmacological pain therapies. Further evaluation, including data from control and crossover groups, are forthcoming and should support the use of this over-the-counter patch as a first-line non-pharmacological treatment option as part of a multimodal treatment approach. So to say that the chap that delivered the speech or delivered the information on it was a week last Saturday in the Toronto show, to say that he was impressed with the results is an understatement. He said that normally to get him out of his house on a Saturday to go and present to a place in Canada, where he's from the USA, is a very strange thing indeed. So he was very impressed by the results. And as John said, that's why we now have FDA registration. And as John correctly said, FDA registration means that the FDA has checked all of your systems, all of your processes, and it's quite content that what we're doing is within its regulatory system. So at this stage, I'd just like to ask if anybody on the call has any particular stories to share about their experience of the technology, and also specifically to do with pain.
Yeah,
if you do have, please unmute yourself and chat up. Ian, yeah.
I can jump in on that one, definitely. Yeah, I've actually not used the pain patch, but I have been using the Vox products since July 2021. Yeah, about July 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I used to take 16 painkillers a day, ranging from dihydrocodone through cocodamol and naproxen. And I got introduced to the products through John, through, again, golfing. And I'd had a round of golf, and it was the first time I've been out in years, and it brought me to tears. John said, why not give it a shot? So they arrived, and 3 days later, I went and played a 5-hour round of golf. Now, the one before that, I had to pick up the ball on about the 14th because I just could not swing the club anymore because my body was in so much pain. I was born with some deformities which caused the pain. And they're all musculoskeletal problems that I have. Now, I've been using the Vox since 2021, and I don't take any painkillers, and I haven't done because of pain through musculoskeletal issues. Obviously took some when I had COVID, but that's a completely different matter. But because of this, it has allowed me to do so much more. It's allowed me to play golf. It's allowed me to go and spend time with my girls at the horses, and rather than just sit in the corner on my phone, coming up with excuses of why I can't actually engage with them and do stuff with them, that I help them with the horses. We do stuff, we go out, beaches, walking up hills, all sorts of stuff. I wake up the next day as if I wasn't doing anything the day before. It has been, for me, life-changing. Now, I don't say that lightly when I say that. I mean, it has been life-changing. The things that I can do and the things that my body can do differently is phenomenal. I was playing off a 39 and I play off a scratch. No, I wish. I still play off a 39, but but no, I mean, absolutely phenomenal. And even if you're not using them, then you've got that 30-day money back guarantee. You've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So just go for it.
Brilliant. Thanks for sharing that story. Obviously, it's really appropriate to say at this stage that we make no promises, no guarantees that we will prevent, fix, diagnose, or cure any diseases whatsoever by use of these patches. And we have a load of different patches available. And so I'll quickly fly through the range of some of the patches. So we obviously have socks and we have insoles that Ian's been talking about. We also have this new patch called the Liberty patch, which pretty much replaces the socks and the insoles. This is like an upgrade. So the socks and the insoles is like iPhone 6 technology, whereas this is the latest version of iPhone in terms of its development. Allied to that, we have the Victory patch, which is predominantly for sports people and those people that want to get in the game and get their head in the game a lot quicker. We then have a range of attentional and focus patches. So the focus patch itself, sorry about the lighting here, the focus patch, which is used by people that want to have more concentration in exams, for example, or repetitive tasks, whereas flow is specifically for people with attentional problems. So it's particularly for people that have got ADHD, ADD, and those kind of issues. We then have another set of patches, which is similar to that, although it's a different mechanism. This is the peace patch, and this is for people particularly who are stressed and anxious. So basically front brain activity, and it helps to just calm down the whole response system inside there. One of my favorite patches is this one called REM, which, as it suggests, is for REM sleep. So this helps, as well as the socks and the Liberty patch, this helps to regulate your sleeping system so you can sleep better throughout the night. And if you wake up, it helps you to get back to sleep again. This is my very favorite one, though, the Defend patch, which has been shown to help with my immune responses. So I'm highly allergic, or I have been highly allergic to all sorts of hay fever, dog hair, cat hair, horse hair, and I can now smell house dust without going into a complete blubbering snotty mess, if you'll pardon the language. There's a new patch out as well called the Ignite patch, which helps your resting metabolic rate to improve or increase. And I'm currently trialing that, and I'll announce results in due course. And I know John's currently going through a trial with that patch as well. And then finally, in terms of the patches we have currently available, is the Freedom patch, which is the pain patch that you've just been watching the video and hearing the story about. So these patches are all developed in a similar manner to the original socks and insoles, in that it travels through the peripheral nervous system to the brain, and therefore it does the great work inside there. Okay, John, I have one more testimonial lined up for Neil Williams, which is 2 minutes long, but I'm just thinking in terms of timing, might be better handling any questions if people have those. Do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Because I think Milan, have we answered your question that you asked at the beginning? You're on mute.
Talk about this a couple of times, so I was quite intrigued as to what it does, you know. So yeah, it's release pain. I mean, that's quite important. So just let me think about it, and obviously, and then come back to Stuart, you know.
Yeah, great stuff.
Amazing what it's done, because as you go older, I mean, I've got so many people who've got. Does it help with people who've got Parkinson's, for example, or they, like I got a client of mine, he's got Parkinson's. Would it help people like that?
Again, we don't make a claim to fix any specific diseases or injuries or illnesses. What we can say is that people can have a free no risk trial to use the technology. We have seen some testimonials of people affected by such things that show that they've kind of stepped back in terms of their progression of their symptoms with such diseases. But actually, we can't make any specific claims. We can say, try it. It might help you. But what we find is that the brain has a priority system. So if you've got some tremoring, or you've got some problems with your respiratory system, whatever, by putting the technology on, your brain will allocate priorities to certain things. So like we were saying beforehand about COVID, this technology will affect everybody in a slightly different way. So we can't say that it will definitely fix things, if that makes sense.
Okay. No, thanks. I'll come back to you, Stuart.
Yeah, thanks. And a very appropriate point on there, that if you joined us today on the call, then whoever's introduced you to this call, if you have any further questions or you want to trial the equipment and the technology for yourself, then please go to that person rather than anybody in this call here. We're all about sharing information. There's no special offers on tonight. You'll be saddened to hear. Apart from that thing that finishes tonight, John, is it? No, we're not doing any of that special offer stuff at all. It's genuinely just giving you the opportunity to look into it, find out more about it. There is at the moment a very special offer available that I kind of alluded to beforehand, but I'm not going to mention that in any way whatsoever, apart from to say that if you are interested in trying it, there is a very special offer available to people, and ask the person that introduced you to this call for further details. John, do you have anything further to add? Sorry, are there any more questions before I move on to John again?
No. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all very much for coming along. We'll play Stuart's testimonial in a moment, but I'd just like to say thank you very much for all of you for coming along and giving your time tonight. This is a word of mouth business. We have all found out about it by meeting other people who've told us about it, and we're grateful for you to come along and hear about this tonight. And we hope that you will also share that with people you might come across who you think it might help. The founder of the business, Jay Dhaliwal, has a mission in his life to get this technology to 1 billion people, and we're going to need an awful lot more people working with us to achieve those numbers. So there is also a business opportunity with this. So again, if anyone would like to find out more about that, then we'd be very happy to tell you more about it. But in the meantime, please do tell people you come across that this is a non-invasive, no side effects way of dealing with a whole range of problems. So thank you very much. And we'll close then with Stuart's last testimonial.